Okay, Catherine. For the last lot of assessments, it's functional movement assessment, so it's a little bit more active than what we've been doing.
All right.
It's 6 core exercises that you probably find in most exercise programs. I'm going to demonstrate them for you before you do them. Don't worry if you can't actually do any. If you can't do a rep or you can only do 1 rep, that just basically gives me an indication of where we need to work on in your program. So what I'm going to get you to do first is a push-up. Alright, okay, so I'm going to demonstrate it for you first. So what we're looking for here is a nice straight line through your back. What we need to do is have your hands directly under your shoulder blade, under your armpits here, under your shoulders, and just a tiny little bit wider. Alright, okay, so if you add a little bit, alright, and we're going to get you to come up on your toes. Now what I'm going to get you to do with your elbows is make sure that you come back, not out to the sides like this. Alright, so they need to tuck back, being in a straight line like this, and all the way down to the ground, and all the way back up. Straight out the back. That's it. Alright, trying to lower down. Don't stress, don't stress. Do you think you okay, if you can try and do about 6 to 10 of those for me. What I did observe is that you've probably got some scapular restrictions here. It's just a little bit of mobility that we might need to work on. I do notice that your shoulders do round forward, and that just means that your chest is quite tight and your back muscles are weak, and we do actually need quite a lot of back strength as well to do our push-ups. Yeah, and I guess it's just if the pec major is tight, so your chest muscle is tight, we just need to also focus on other areas as well, so your serratus anterior and things like that, so, which is just your muscles over here, alright? And that's going to help you to hold your posture a little bit down, your core strength. And the other thing that we probably need to work on is your glute strength. Believe it or not, the push-up is not just for your chest, it's a full body exercise, so we need to work on all those areas. Alright, so let's move on. We're going to move on to a lat pull down. It's a little bit different to what you see in a gym. We're going to do it with bands instead. What I'm going to get you to do is sit on a bench for me. When you're sitting on the bench, I need you to make sure that your feet are nice and flat on the floor, okay? That your glutes are switched on, okay? That your back's in a neutral position, and that you're directly under the bands here. What I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to pull down, and as you pull down, you can see my scapula is pulling together, okay? Chest up, and I'm going to pull them down. What I want you to avoid is doing this, or doing this, okay? So I'm going to say nice and tall, and pulling down to your chest, and then raising them back up. So neutral position, nice and tall, holding alignment, so step forward a little bit, that's it. Feet a little bit wider apart. And we'll try to do 6 to 10 of those. And one more for me. Excellent, well done. Alright, excellent. I think you're probably going to guess what I'm going to say. The rounded shoulders, yeah, okay, so it just means that we need to strengthen the muscles through your trapezius and your your lats, and we need to stretch out your pec muscles a little bit as well, okay? So otherwise your spine was in nice neutral alignment. So what we're going to do now is the squat. I'm just going to get you to do is make sure that you're on a line for me, and I'm going to get you to make sure that your hips are nice and square to the line, okay? Shoulder in a nice neutral position, okay? Glutes turned on. What I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to bring your arms out, and I'm going to get you to come down into a squat position. What we're looking forward for here is that our knees stay behind our toes, and that we don't lean too far forward, okay? And that we don't roll forward in our shoulders. So coming down and coming straight position. That's it. Glutes switched on, and bringing your arms out. That's it. And try and do 6 to 10 of these for me. what we're looking for here, your torso does lean forward quite a bit, okay, and I think that's just, again, what we saw in the Thomas test was just your weak glutes, okay, and tightness in the hip flexor. When we're tight in the hip flexor, it tends to bring us forward a little bit, and we're weak in the glutes, it tends to bring us forward like this instead of back like this. So quads are probably a little bit tight, but I would say we're looking more at the weak hamstrings and the weak glutes there, okay. I think with your joint mobility, again, your hips are probably restricted, meaning that you can't bring it back like that. And again, that's probably that tightness in the hip flexors that we saw in the Thomas test. Probably your core muscles, so as well as your glutes. Okay, let's move on to what we've got next. The lunge, how to do a lunge. So feet shoulder width apart. Again, we're looking for that nice neutral arch in the spine. Okay, not too much anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, we're going to start on a line here. I'm going to get you to what we call a reverse lunge. So I'm going to get you to take one leg back for me. Okay, and then I'm going to get you to bring it down into what we call a 90-degree box. So we've got a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle at the back. What we're looking for is that you can come straight up and down. All right. Okay. Again, don't worry if you can't do it. It gives me a good indication of what we need to fix and work on. Okay. And what I'll get you to do is go back on one leg and then back on the other leg. Yeah, so up onto your toes at the back. And coming up. So yeah, up and down. One more on that side, other side.
I can't get down very far on these.
It's okay, you do what you can. And two more. Okay, so what I saw there is again some hip restrictions, so your tight hip flexors, your weak glutes. You did have, when you were coming down into this, your knee tended to come across like this. That tells me that your QL is probably either tight or, yeah, I'd say it's probably tight, and your glute medius is what needs to be strengthened. Okay, so your glute medius, you've got your glute max, and then your glute medius sits up the top here. Yeah, so what tends to happen there is that your, what did I say, your QL, I meant your TFL, which is your muscle that runs down the side here. It's a hip flexor muscle. It's one that internally rotates the knee. And if that is tight, it's going to bring that knee in, and your glutes need to be a little bit stronger just to bring that glute back out. Okay, so
work on that part.
Yeah. So again, it's like the squat. Strengthen the back and stretch out the front. Okay, so the next one is the shoulder press. So I'll just borrow those from you. What we're looking here for is again good spine extension. So we don't want to have a rounded spine here. Want that good extension through here, just a nice shoulder width apart. Okay, we're looking at bringing this up and having good external rotation at the shoulders. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to come down to our shoulders with the dumbbells, and then we're just going to press straight up over the top and bring them straight back down. One good tip here is to make sure that your glutes are activated as well, because all these exercises are quite compound, so that means that we're activating all of our muscle groups. Core on nice and tight, and pressing up. And coming down. Your posture up. Okay. Bringing it up to the shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out as you push up. And breathe in as you come down. Alright, so you're doing really, really well, Catherine. So what I noticed is that when you were doing, and I think probably what you're trying to do is prevent that rounded shoulders from happening, but in doing so you're actually getting quite a bit of an arch in your back. Yeah. Okay, so we just need to make sure we keep that spine nice and neutral, and we can do that again by strengthening the glutes and stretching out those chest muscles just to bring the shoulders so that they stand there naturally. Yeah. And we need to work probably on your upper trapezius here, okay, and your lats. And what I also noticed was that your shoulder blades don't kind of move freely.
Yeah.
So what we need to do probably is work on a little bit of scap retraction, just to make sure that your shoulder blades do move up and down quite freely through that movement.
Yeah.
Again, that's probably why you're leaning back, trying to get that movement to happen. All right, the last exercise, the plank.
Okay.
All right,
Oh.
we're almost there.
Oh.
Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do, what we're looking here for is a nice straight spine, and so that we don't roll our shoulders over. And I know that we're working on that.
Yeah.
All right, your arms are going to be stacked underneath your shoulders when we come up into a plank position, and we want to make sure that our pelvis is tucked under a little bit and our glutes are activated. What we want to avoid is a big arch. So this is what we want to avoid. We want to avoid this dip.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to tuck it under slightly so that we get a nice, and then we just want that nice line in the spine. Now, I just want you to hold it for as long as you can. We can drop it and then come back up. All right.
Okay.
Remembering to breathe while we're down there. Try not to hold your breath. So bring your hands straight underneath. So stack straight underneath your shoulders. Bring them in a little bit. No, actually sort of together. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that way. All right. Okay. That's it. That's it. Yep. Perfect. And so we're going to take our feet backwards. That's it. And the other one, we're going to hold it there. Doing really well, Catherine. That's fantastic. Fantastic. And you can drop that. Well, I'll get you to do one more, but just take a break. All right, so let's have a look. So when you were, and I know you're going to expect this.
Yeah.
it's once you sort of tend to find something going on in one exercise, that it repeats in all the others. So what we found is that you were leaning forward like this quite a bit. Okay, so what we're looking for is that extension in the spine, but not an arch here either, because you actually did quite well down the bottom. You actually had quite good strength through your abdominals. Probably the reason for the rounding again is the tight shoulders. We just need to improve the strength of your back, upper back. So your upper trapezius and your lats as well, and your rhomboids in this. So just all those muscles in the back so that we get that nice straight line instead of this. Yeah. But it was really, really good. Really good. Well done.
I'm impressed that I got to help.
High five.
So.
Well done.